as a Chelsea fan, you experience one step forward and two steps back, talking about the injury of our captain, Reece James and Colwill coming back to training at Cobham, and the loss that actually didn't cost us a spot in the Champions League, but also cost us Trevoh Chalobah for 2 months. That's the loss against PSG. This is Blue Room here on Impact Play. My name is Popkiss. Welcome to the show. So let's dive into it. Reece James injury again. Reece James has been experiencing the same injury since 2002 for the 10th time. And I think that's a lot for a player of this age and someone that is actually has a high potential of still giving us more. And I rate him very highly in terms of the right back in the world. And I know because of injuries, I can't put him above guys like Hakimi. But when you look at the way he plays whenever he's fit, and I think from last season to this season, experienced James that was fit for most of the time. And I think that was a good thing to just remember that this is the guy that can come in and play as a midfield, and you know how to pass, you know how to mark, and then play on the right hand side where we know him for on the right back. And I think he's the guy that we also knew that if he was fit, he was gonna go to the starting 11 of that England in the World Cup, because I believe there is no one and no right back in England that is actually better than him when he's healthy. But I don't even think he's gonna come back fit enough before the World Cup to actually go there. But now, that's not my problem. My problem here is Chelsea. Looking at this, it's just a mess, because you're looking at him going out, then he's going to be coming end of April towards the early weeks of May, which is the season is going to be bad for us anyway, because we need to pick up points as soon as possible actually, so that we can just try to gain this number 4 position, which will help us to qualify for Champions League spots. The 5th spot is still an option, but I'm not convinced with that. So I will want us to just gun for the 4th spot, which is guaranteed that we are going to the Champions League. So this will be a bad news for Chelsea, because he's out. Trevoh Chalobah, one of my Iron Men that I've been saying, that this is the guy that will make mistakes, and then he's the guy that will be more consistent enough than the other guys that we have in the team right now. So this actually gives us a big problem, because we're going to be left with Bandashile, we're going to be left with Tosin, we're going to be left with Fofana, and I think Achimpong is the one guy that I actually trust enough to go into the centre back, because of his ability to mark 101, the way he's able to recover, the way he's able to know how to play the ball from the back, and actually run in between the lines if the guys are pressing, to able to give himself a little bit of movement up front in the field, so that he can able to make like a good decision in terms of passing. So I think this is the guy that I will trust now, since we don't have our 2 guys that I think they will be there. And I know Malo Gusto will be the guy that will rely on the most, but I think Malo Gusto sometimes he doesn't seem consistent on the ball, but I know he's going on that right hand side position. So if Malo Gusto go on that right hand side position, and we have Achimpong here on the center, we probably going to have Bandashile, because I don't think Fofana will play on the left hand side. And if he plays on the left hand side, I don't also think it's going to be good enough to do that. Or maybe we'll have Hato, and then Cucurella will play on the left hand side. But there will be like 2 kids, so probably Bandashile will play, or maybe Bandashile and Fofana will play, which, yeah, it's something that we have. There's nothing that we can do right now. So I think let's talk about Colwill, some of the positive things that is coming out of that Cobham training. So I think Colwill has been seen training with the first team squad. We know that he's not going to come back this season as well, but I think it's a good boost for us going to the next season. No, that's the guy that we've missed so much this season. That's actually all the problems that we had this season started because this guy wasn't available for us in the beginning of the season. So I think this is the important guy that we need to come back, so that we know exactly where we are, because we don't want to rebuild forever. You want to rebuild to something, you want to rebuild to challenging something, so you can't be rebuilding forever. So I think we will need a Colwill to be available. I know he's not going to play all our crucial games that we're going to play, which is the 2 teams from Manchester. So I don't think he will be around for those. But if maybe they want to put him this season, I probably will put him on the last game of the season, where most of the things will be done. So I think he'll be coming in on that game just to give him something before we go to the off season. So I think, yeah. But then we're talking about the issue of goalkeepers. I want to talk about this because I know that Jorgensen is injured, and then Sanchez will be the goalkeeper. But I think this is an issue not because I believe Jorgensen is better than Sanchez. I believe as a shot-stopping goalkeeper doing your goalkeeping job, I believe Sanchez is better than Jorgensen. But my problem is, I know that Liam Rosenior is going to want to make sure that he's playing the ball from the back, because he's comfortable doing that with Jorgensen, who's understanding the role that Liam Rosenior wants to play. And we've seen what Sanchez did when when Enzo Maresca was still a coach, when he was trying to do the thing. I think he made a lot of mistakes, lots and lots of them. And I think sometimes when they told to do so, sometimes they can't even think of themselves to be like, okay, this is a dangerous thing. You can see the dangerous thing. Let me just hit the ball up front, and then we can calm ourselves and then give ourselves a better structure to go and mark the ball. So I think it's one of those things. So Sanchez is going to be coming back, but if we're going to force Sanchez to play the ball from the back, we are going to lose lots of matches. So I hope Liam Rosenior knows that very well, that at this point I don't think I need him to implement something. At this point I need him to play like he's coaching Tottenham right now. We are fighting for relegation, so that we can get those points, because I think right now trying to build this side is not really going to help us about anything. So just win the 7 games, man, if it's possible, and then we go to the off-season. Then you try to restructure your squad the way you want your squad, and then you can try to implement new things while we have time to do so, because right now you don't have time to do the thing, and these guys must able to catch up on what you are telling them so that they can get those points. So I think it's one of those things that is going to be a problem for Chelsea. But other than the bad news, the good news that Colwill is back. So we'll be playing a match against Man City, which is just a tough match for us. But I'm not scared of Man City the way they're playing. I'm scared of the mistakes that we are going to do. Do you think we stand a chance of qualifying for Champions League? When you're looking at our games that we're going to play and our injuries, make sure that you comment down below on the comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And thank you so much if you've been watching till this far. And I'll see you on the next one.